60s. 20 years ago, the summer of love told us to make peace and not war. Did the hippies of the 60s accomplish anything with their sit-ins and protests? Is our society today any better because of it? Or were the 60s a decade of drugged-out, long-haired sex fiends who wasted their time and sank the morale of the United States to a distressing low? My name is Bill, and this is Call Us Now. And like I said, our topic tonight is the 60s. And, well, we're celebrating the Summer of Love, which was 20 years ago today, or this summer, actually. And we're going to be talking about that tonight. And we have a very distinguished panel tonight for you, the viewing audience, to call in and talk to, ask questions. And we're going to give that phone number in just a second where you can call in because we're coming to you live tonight. So let's get to our panel, shall we? First of all, to my left, Sandra Dong, author of Going Dong. Nice to have you here, Sandra.
Thank you, William. Yes, I just wrote this book about having made the scene back in Frisco in '67. And basically, I knew a lot of people involved with rock and roll at that time, and I was there for the Golden Gate Part B and that kind of, well, at least I think I was there. I mean, people tell me that I was there, so I'm pretty sure I was. And I wrote a book about it, Going Dong, and it'll be available in like your bookstores real soon. And thank you.
Okay, thanks, Sandra. Next to Sandra, we have Balsa Cocker, who is the daughter of the famed folk singer Joan Cocker. Nice to have you here, Balsa.
Hi, I'm Balsa Cocker, and my mother, of course, is really famous folk singer. And '67 was really important in our lives because that's when her album went platinum, entitled Love, Death, and Destruction, which is pretty self-explanatory, and she taught us a lot. And I think the 60s meant a lot to me because I'm pretty much a product of it, and now I am doing a rock band of my own entitled The Biorhythmic Embryonic Linguistics. So I think '67 was really important. I don't remember much about it, actually. I was 6 at the time. That's all, Bill.
Thanks, Balsa. Gang, I gotta kind of apologize to you. I wanted to get James Brown on our show tonight, the godfather of soul, because he was a great influence on the music scene back in the 60s. I gave James a call, and I was excited when he said he would be on the show. And, well, who it ended up being was not the James Brown I thought it was going to be. Tonight we have James Brown, the band boy for the Strawberry Alarm Clock, and we're pleased to have him here. Hi, James.
Hi, Bill. I know you won't be let down because, well, as a lot of people out there know, the Strawberry Alarm Clock, well, next to the Beatles, were about the most popular band in America. And I, being the band boy, was kind of at the heart of what was happening musically in the 60s and particularly 1967. So I think I'm probably the most valid source of information on your panel tonight, even though I'm not the other James Brown. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? We're going to open up the old phone line so you, the viewing audience, can give us a call and talk to us about what you were doing in the 60s, and maybe you have some questions for our panel. And our number is 522-3564. Give us a call. We're going to the phones. Hi there.
Yo, man, the 60s were hell. That's all I can say, man.
That's it, huh?
This is Tyrone, man. In the 60s, I was hosed down. I was beaten. I was just abused, man. 60s were nothing. I hated him.
They were turbulent.
Yeah, man. It was just hell.
It was pretty hard for me, too, being 6 and all.
Well, like, what were the 60s like for all you three, man?
Well, I'll tell you, Tyrone, I was happening in the love scene there in Frisco, and there was, it was a really violent and volatile time, you know, but it was a love happening thing, too. There was a lot of flowers. I think I was wearing these back then, too, and there was a lot of love, too, and there were people that were right on with you, brother.
Yeah, well, I gotta say one thing to you, honey. Save your damn pits.
Thanks for calling. 522-3564 is our number. We're talking about the 60s, Summer of Love. Hi, thanks for calling.
Hi. Would you say that the distorted
reminiscing of the 60s. It's really just a plot by the far-right evangelical Christians and other Reagan supporters to discredit the values of the time to promote their own secret agenda.
Easy for you to say.
Well, thank you very much for your question. 522-3564 is our number. We're talking about the 60s. Hi there.
Hey, how's it going, man?
All right.
Yeah, rock and roll. I really got into the 60s. You know, I thought it was the most hip and swinging time.
Oh, come on. That is not... The 60s were not it for rock and roll. Rock and roll started in the 70s.
I'm not saying anything about rock and roll. How old were you, like, in 63?
Hey, man, in 63 I was 2, and it was an important year for me.
You can't remember anything.
Oh, come on now. I have had hypnosis, and I've gone into my past lives and know a lot about my
shut up.
You shut up.
I was in the 60s. I know what it's all about, man. James Brown, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You remember me, huh?
No, but I bet you know what's up, man.
Yeah. You know, the Strawberry Alarm Clock, they were so big that we generally had bookings every Friday and Saturday night.
Really, man?
That's right. And we were in some of the biggest baseball parks in America. And we'd go there and we'd drive in our little Ford station wagon that we had and all our equipment in the back, and we'd drive from one ballpark to another one.
Wow.
And I'd set up all the equipment myself, and before the concert started, I'd be up there setting up the equipment, and everybody would see me, and wow, it was great. And then after the show, well, we had some real wild parties.
Yeah, man, there was the most hippest and wildest parties were in the 60s. I wish everyone was like the 60s, man.
I wish you would go back to the 60s, dude.
Oh, hey, man, you don't know anything about the 60s, honey. Yeah, look at you. Stick your tongue out. Look like I'm getting on you because
I'm shaking. You're a rat, Alice, aren't you?
God. But you don't know anything about the 60s like James does. You were only 2. Man, you weren't hypnotized. You don't know anything.
Well, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your call and your view on the 60s.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
your call. All right, thanks for calling. So 522-3564 is our number. We are talking about the 60s. Now, wait, didn't the Strawberry Alarm Clock, it's just coming back to me now. What was that song that there's a song that they had?
Big hit?
Yeah.
That was Incense and Peppermint.
It was stupid.
Oh, no, it was a beautiful love song. In fact, I think maybe if you'd listened to that song a little more, maybe you would have had a more meaningful relationship with maybe 30 or 40 of the fellas that you were sleeping with back then, instead of the several thousand.
Let's go back to the phones. Hi there. Oh, lost them there. 522-3564 is our number. Let's try this once again. Hi there.
Hi.
Hi there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Marty Ray.
Hi, Marty. So what were you doing back 20 years ago?
Marty Ray.
Hey.
Marty Ray.
I was going to school.
Okay, so like how old were you?
Like I was about 15.
All right, okay, so you and I can kind of get into the same scene, like the 60s. We're not really products, we're byproducts of the 60s, and then we learned a lot about the environment and the earth then, don't you think?
Like, yeah.
I think. So like now, don't you think that we're doing a lot to save the earth, and don't you feel that it, has motivated us to do things important to the world? I think so too.
Well, thank you very much for your call. 522-3564. Let's try the phones once again. Hi there.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Just great. Who's
I was born in like 69.
Uh-huh.
And I'll turn down the TV, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, you'll get feedback.
Don't want
it's like dropping acid. It's really weird.
Yeah. So I like consider myself chemical waste of the waste product of the 60s, right? And frankly, damn it, I'm just kind of proud of it, I mean, isn't this still the 60s?
In what way?
Well, isn't it?
What's your name, guy?
Whoa.
What's your name?
You guys are talking, my name's Joe.
Joe.
You guys are talking about the 60s like it's past. Isn't it still going on?
As far as I'm concerned, it is.
Whoa, that's what I say. Here, is the Grateful Dead coming to town?
town by chance?
Yeah, they are. Actually, the Dead, who I know very, very well,
Do you?
the Dead are going to be down in, I think, Eugene or Portland pretty soon.
Yeah, with Bob Dylan.
With Bob, right. And the
Right.
thing is that, I mean, I knew, Jerry, of course, very well, in the biblical sense. And
James, are you a
they're the
Jesus
only
freak?
living, rockers, I think, around still.
Do you have a question for James?
Yeah, I did. James, are you a Jesus freak?
Well, I think Jesus is very nice, and of course he was kind of the one that set the style for the 60s, and with his outfits and his hair and all. And you mentioned the Grateful Dead there, and it's kind of a coincidence because back in the 60s, the Strawberry Alarm Clock, we used to store our equipment in their storage shed, so we got to know them real well.
Oh, really? So you guys were like hangers-on to the Deads, right? So like.
Well, I like to think that they kind of fashioned their music over our influence. We had a big influence on their music. I think you can see actually a lot of similarities between Jerry Garcia and myself.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Joe, thanks a lot for your call. We got to move along now.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Thanks for calling.
James,
Yes.
I'm kind of, like under the impression that maybe you took even a little more drugs than I did back then.
Oh, yes. Well, I don't want to get myself in trouble here. My family is watching, but I tried marijuana in 1969.
Oh, big deal.
I smoked a joint of marijuana, Mary Jane, as the Rolling Stones used to call it.
My mom, Joan Cocker,
Yes?
she used to bake hash brownies in my Susie Homemaker Easy Bake Oven.
Oh.
Yeah. Later, she destroyed it because it was a symbol of womanhood.
Let's go back to the phones. 522-3564 is our number. Give us a call. We're talking about the 60s tonight. Hi there.
Yo,
Who's this?
que pasa, hombre? 60s were rad, except I think I took a few too many drugs. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for calling.
Did they say rod in the 60s?
If Janice were still alive now, her voice would be like that.
Hi
I
there.
knew her.
Hi,
I slept
Hi,
with
who's
her.
this?
this is Phil.
Phil.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm fine.
Great. I'm doing great too. What, you got a question for us tonight or a comment?
Well, the 60s, that's a great topic. I think it's wonderful. Everybody there is from the 60s. You too, Bill, huh?
Yeah, I was going around in the 60s. I had a #1 show down in Los Angeles on KNBC back in the 60s. It was called Groovin' with Bill. Used to hang out with, it was kind of a celebrity talk show, so I used to interview people like Steve McQueen, Sidney Poitier.
Oh, you did
the big
not.
name. I did. Back
Really?
yeah. In fact, I did bring a picture from my personal scrapbook tonight. Yeah, I used to hang out with the Monkees back then, and I pulled this photo from my scrapbook.
Yeah.
With me and with Mickey and Peter and Michael Nesmith. Davey wasn't there that day, but I was. This is kind of a behind the scenes.
I'm glad you
look
didn't
of
get
the
a
show.
swollen head over it.
So
Did you see
anyway,
the Monkees when they were here in town?
no, I missed them, and I was really upset about that. I think I was doing the show that night or something. Anyway, you got a question for us?
Well, no, I just think it's a good topic. I'll let you guys move along.
You're just approving of our topic.
Yeah, I
then.
think this is a good one.
All right, thanks, Phil.
Uh-huh, bye.
Bye. 522-3564 is our number. Let's go back to the phones. Hi there.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Not much. You notice that a lot of the people from the 60s sound the same?
Oh, no, man,
Vernacular's
but I'm
the
from
same.
Mexico.
You're from what were the 60s like in Mexico?
Well, no, you see, I liked America in the 60s because you could, like, come across the border without a green card, you know? You know what I mean? I don't...
No.
Oh, no, you people ain't Mexican, so you wouldn't know. But I had my low rider, and, I was a cool breeze with my little chain steering wheel. My dingle balls. My dingle balls.
You know something? There were a lot of people making the Mexico scene back in '67, and they were making the Canada scene as well.
Oh,
They
yeah,
were
like all
splitting
you...
the war, and the hate, and the riots, and the racism, and the sexism, and they were making the scene down there.
Yeah, man. I saw a lot of American women down there. They were really good-looking women. A them look like that foxy mama in the middle. Ooh, she's a muchacha.
Yeah, you're a macho muchacha yourself, guy.
Oh, yeah,
Alrighty.
but, you know, I once saw your mom in concert, you know, and
yeah?
I really got into her music.
She's pretty rad. She doesn't do that kind of stuff anymore, you know, but she did a lot then. Did you like her?
And after the concert, I really got into her, too, if you know what I mean.
I think we know all too well. Thanks for calling. So what is your mom doing these days? I haven't seen her
She's
for a
still
while.
doing her music, but she's basically singing songs about the environment to the deaf and blind schools around the nation. But she still really believes in what she believed in then, and she's just a really cool woman, you know. She's a grandmother now, because I had an older brother and an older sister. My brother's name is Beach Ball. He was born in the 50s, and my sister's name was Annette.
Uh-huh. Let's go back to the phones. Hi there. Is someone there? I guess not. Let me ask Sandra a question. I'm just getting the impression that that you knew a lot of the big rock stars back in the 60s.
I knew the Jefferson Airplane people and the Mamas and the Papas and you know, their Mamas and their Papas. I knew them, and I knew Country Joe. You know, I knew him, and I knew them all basically.
What did you exactly do for a living?
I went to concerts.
Oh.
522-3564. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, I was just
interrupt
going
you.
to say that, you know, a lot of people said that there was a lot of free love, and that there was. But they also were under the impression that there were a lot of free drugs, and that there was not. And I just wanted to say that.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, who's this?
Oh, this is Susan.
Susan, thanks for calling tonight. Do you have a question or a comment about the 60s?
I'd like to say that I really enjoy your show.
Oh, thanks.
And the lady in the, I can't tell if it's red or orange dress, dark hair.
No.
You said she knew Jefferson Airplane. What's Grace look like? I always wondered.
A lot like me, babe. A lot like me.
Is she? Now, what do you like?
Kind of a burned out shell of a human being,
Really?
basically.
You don't look like one.
You don't think so? Well, thank you. That's pretty right on.
Pretty eyes, pretty eyes.
Thank you.
What were you doing 20 years ago?
Oh, God. You know, I was just thinking about that today. It's really hard to think about 20 years ago. Well, let's see. I was only 14, so I wasn't really into that scene. My brothers were, but I wasn't. I was the only girl, so my mother kept me at home. Just like to say, I really do enjoy your show. It's really enlightening.
Well, you are really right on.
Yeah, so, well, hey, I like the guy. I didn't see him. Like his head wrap.
James Brown? Is that
What his name is?
Yeah.
I just tuned in.
Yeah, he was the band boy for the Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Oh, now who's the blonde hair girl? What's she doing there?
I'm not a girl, I'm a woman.
Oh, sorry. Okay, what are you doing there, woman?
My mother was Joan Cocker. She's a very famous, I'm sure you heard of her, folk singer in the 60s. And I'm
Oh,
her
I've
daughter.
heard of Joe Cocker and
Joan.
Joan Baez.
I knew Joe Cocker. I knew Joan Baez.
Have you ever heard of the album that went platinum in '67? Love. What was it called again?
Death and Destruction.
Yeah,
It's pretty hip if you were old enough to remember it. Like I care.
well, I can say I don't like you, but the girl in the red dress is nice.
Thank you.
Did you ever go to any Strawberry Alarm Clock concerts back then?
No, I've never been to a concert, but it's really strange. I was raised in a real strict household, so
How old are you now?
34.
You've never been to a concert?
No, not even now.
Boy.
Whoa.
Golly.
You know, 66, I don't remember if the Strawberry,
I was 13 in 66.
were you?
Yeah, but you guys look younger than
Do
that.
you remember the Monterey pop thing then? The thing that they did, you know, Jimi Hendrix let us, you know, guitar.
Oh, yeah, I remember Jimi Hendrix. I'm from Florida, and I saw Jimi Hendrix when I was real young. He was down there.
Did you ever watch the Ed Sullivan Show?
Oh, yeah.
Then my mom was there on there like 3 times.
Joan
Cocker.
Cocker.
Yes.
So what kind of music did she do now?
Folk singing
I don't know.
about the environment and the earth and how it was all going to be blown up by the time we died.
Oh, God.
It was pretty
That's
inspiring.
depressing. Well, listen, I'll let you go
Okay.
so somebody else can get in. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for
Thank
your
you.
call.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
You know, I'd really like to hear from some people who are like me, you know, the 60s is just a lot of hype, and that some of us feel that the 70s were a really important era.
Well, you know, and also I'd really like to hear if there are any of my rockin' friends out here, like or the Wailers, you know, or the Sonics, because I made it up to these parts quite a while ago. And actually, I don't know if you know this, William, but I hitchhiked out to Frisco in '66. I was 16, and I hitchhiked out with my friend Mary Lou. Actually, my name was Mary Lou too, but of course I changed it because it wasn't hip. But we made the scene all the way from Garden City, Kansas, if you can believe that. And I was just wondering if there are any other rockers that are up here. I heard that Steve Miller's up here. And Steve Miller. Steve Miller, well, you'd probably know him from Really Love Your...
Uncle Steve, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the viewers have the opportunity to go right to the source of probably the most knowledgeable person of music in that period. And I'm not embarrassed to say that that's me.
I'd be embarrassed.
Let's go right to the phones and see if we got a caller there. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Bobo.
Bobo, how you doing?
Not too bad. Hey, I got a little comment about Steve Miller.
What about him?
Like my sister-in-law's sister is married to his, over in Hilo. They stay together.
His what?
What? You are drugged out tonight, right?
Say it again, Bobo.
Hey, Steve Miller, you know, he has a place over in, on the big island of Hawaii in Kona.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister-in-law lives there, and they party down with him quite regularly.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if you talk to him, say hi from Sandra.
Sandra.
He'll know
Sandra,
me.
When you were in Frisco in the 60s there, right?
Yeah.
You said you were doing some drugs.
Oh, I did it, you know, my share, sure.
What? Maybe you could give me a rundown on what do you think was the best acid in the 60s?
I'll tell you what the very best acid was. It was the Owsley Monterey Purple Acid, which was created by a chemist.
Keesley?
Owsley.
Owsley.
It was created by Owsley.
What did you
and
think
they were
of Sunshine?
Sunshine, the orange sunshine, right?
Right.
I did a little bit of that. It was, yeah, it was hip. It was cool. I liked blotter. But I tell you,
Blotter was bad. Too much cut with too much strychnine.
it sounds like you did your share too.
Purple mini tabs is the way
But
to
let
go.
me tell you about the purple stuff. At the Monterey Pop, they were passing it out in jars like it was jelly beans.
They did that at
Everyone was tripping.
all the festivals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I graduated out of high school by 69, so I was a little young in the earlier days, but it did create some good times.
Did you go to any Strawberry Alarm Clock concerts?
Well, no, I didn't. They didn't have too many of those in my hometown.
Did you have a bass?
Hey, what's happening with Janis Joplin?
Well, I don't want to be the one. Yeah, I was going to say I don't want to be the one to break it to you, Big
Well, you
Bobo.
must have known her.
Oh, I knew Janice,
Yeah, you guys ever do any good things together?
Well, yeah, we partied. I'll tell you what. She turned me on to Southern Comfort, and that was hip, cool stuff back then.
Oof. Was that before she shot it, or was she shooting Southern Comfort?
Well, she
then, or-
might have been, but you know what we would do? We would smoke cigarette after endless cigarette trying to rasp our voices out so we could sound better.
She did a good job of that.
I sang backup for her for a while.
Bobo,
Yeah.
Janis Joplin's dead?
Uh-oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, no.
Jesus, James, where have you been?
Hey, you know the best place to do that acid was in the 60s?
Where?
It was on the Scenic Highway out of Portland, Oregon, going east. Excellent.
Well, basically every highway was scenic when you were doing acid.
You're right. That was a good time.
Bobo,
Hey, I guess we'll probably have to go on, but I have a good friend that I think will be calling. His name is Pierre.
Pierre.
He is really hip on the 60s.
Well, we hope to get his call.
Yeah.
So we're going to move along now. Thanks for calling, Bobo.
Hey, no problem.
All right, we'll see you next week.
So James, I thought you knew a lot about the music in the 60s.
I do. How'd she die?
I don't know.
I don't
Something
know.
about a sandwich or something.
No, that was Cass.
All right.
Was she on an airplane for the sandwich?
Sandwich on an airplane?
No, that was Patsy Cline.
Airplane.
That's another thing entirely.
Hi there.
Too bad.
67. You guys don't know what it was about. I was there. You guys were over here sitting around, smoking your dope, looking at your peace flowers and everything, going to your concerts. I know what it was about. I was in Hanoi when it first fell. I know what it was all about. I wasn't awake.
We used to play USO tours, and we went over there. I set equipment up and a lot of hooches over in that area. Did you ever see our concerts?
Who was it again?
Strawberry Alarm Clock? Well, we did a lot of USO tours.
Guess you missed it.
It was
This is
really
bumming
hard.
me out, William.
So,
This is bumming me out,
We
seriously.
appreciate your call. Thanks a lot. It sounded like he was having a flashback there. 522-3564 is our number. We're talking about the 60s. Give us a call. Hi there. Hi there. Oh, you got to be a little quicker than that. 522-3564 is our number. Let's try this again. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Just fine. Who's this?
This is Angela.
Hi, Angela.
My sister.
You got a question for us tonight?
Yeah, I want to know, what do you guys think about, like, all the bad things that went on during the 60s? A lot of bad
there were
things.
a lot of bad things.
stuff,
A lot
yeah.
of bad things. I remember at the time that we had to wear dresses to school. We couldn't wear jeans and stuff, for one thing, which ruined our generation, I think.
Well, you know what? A lot of the bad things were a result of a lot of narrow-minded mentality, Angela.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of us just chose to just drop out of the rat race. And some people got involved in, the riots and the protests and that kind of thing. Okay. But basically, the 60s that I'm coming from was the love and the flowers and the peace. And a lot of love.
Yeah.
Nothing bad ever happened to the Strawberry Alarm Clock. We used to play concerts at the White House and do the USO tours, like I mentioned, and play the ballparks and the skating rinks, and it was just a happy time for us.
So are you guys, like, getting off drugs now?
I mean, what?
Are you getting off drugs?
I only had that one.
About acid and stuff. Are you getting off drugs
And
now?
aren't you sick of hearing about that all the time? Aren't you sick of hearing about the 60s and the drugs and the 60s and the drugs? I think that's old news.
I only tried the marijuana that one time, and
Well, that's cool, but what about the one that had acid? That's
Yeah, it's
Oh, I haven't done any for a long time.
Yeah, I'll just bet.
Yeah.
Angela, we appreciate your phone call. We got to move along.
Okay,
And,
thanks
for calling.
talking.
Bye.
Bye.
James.
Sandra, did you know any of the Strawberry Alarm Clock guys?
Oh, yeah, I knew the Strawberry Alarm Clock guys. I don't remember James.
Jim?
Jesus.
Everyone used to call me Jim.
I don't remember you.
Remember Jim?
I remember my mom ever talking about you or anything.
Wow. I remember your mom, and I remember you at the parties.
Yeah, I made a lot of those.
Yeah. I used to fold up your clothes for you.
Oh, that's real nice.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The other house.
Hi there.
Hi,
Hi, who's this?
Eric.
Hi there.
Hi,
You
Eric.
got a question for us?
Yeah, what was the long hair used for? Why such long hair?
What are you talking about?
Long hair in the 60s?
Yeah, why, with hippies, why did they have such
You're right. Why did they do that when there are so many interesting things and self-expression things that they could do with it now, right?
Right.
Right.
There was kind of a statement that we used to make. You can see by looking at me that I still wear my hair very long. And, well, I like to kind of let the whole world know that I still believe in the ideals that we had back in the 60s, the peace and the love and just getting along with your fellow man. And when I walk down the street with this haircut, everybody knows.
Eric,
Yeah?
it was all about anti-establishment. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Gag, Eric, gag. Eric, how old are you?
I'm 14.
All right, so what does that make you? So you were born in what, 70-something, right?
70.
Something. So
Yeah.
what? You don't remember nothing about the 60s, but don't you feel that you're better for it in a way? Aren't you glad that you missed all that shit?
Sort of. In some ways, yes. Some ways, no.
Don't you kind of think that the music is better now? I mean,
Yes, I do.
all right, so there you go.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks for
All right.
calling. Bye.
Eric sounds like a nice boy. He'd be a good band boy. tell.
What does a band boy do exactly?
Well, you drive a Ford Econoline and it has all the equipment in the back, and you go to wherever the concerts are going to be, and you set the equipment up, and then when the show's over, you take it back down and put it back in the Econoline and drive to the next place and put it back up again. Yeah, you learn a lot about music that way.
Yeah. I know
We'll see you next Thursday, 8:30.